From Reese Witherspoon's star-studded Shine Away event in Los Angeles to hosting my first ever friendship table dinner circle at my home where I cooked and baked for 18 of my dear friends, and then leading a Lavender Craft Workshop in a mindfulness circle at a women's shelter on Skid Row, I witnessed again and again the healing that happens when women come together.
Dear Family is a podcast hosted by Rachel Steinman, a writer, an educator, and a mental health advocate. And Rachel gets us up close and personal, so we feel a strong connection, familiarity, and comfort with her guests. So settle in and join us as we search for true healing and journey with Rachel and her most interesting guests.
What if the secret to feeling happier, healthier, and more fulfilled isn't a new wellness trend, but it's friendship? What if it's true connection? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Dear Family podcast. I'm Rachel Steinman, your host, and I'm so happy to be back. It's been so long, too long, but I'm really happy to be sharing this new, very special episode with you, and it's called Friendship is the New Wellness, and the tagline is When Women Shine Together. Honestly, this episode could also be called Dear Friends, because that's who we're really talking about, our chosen family, our sisters, the women who hold us up and they help us grow. Lately, my passions have all come together in a really beautiful way. Mental health education, mindfulness facilitation, and friendship. I'm what I like to call a friendship ambassador, alongside my best friend and my creative partner, Rachel Winter. Together, we wrote a gift book called Stay Golden Girls, Friendship is the New Marriage. And if you haven't seen it by now, you definitely need to check it out. It's a great gift and it's really fun and really bright and joyful, just like friendship is. And Rachel and I also co-founded the Stay Forever Gold platform, where we are all things friendship. So check us out. Something I've also been exploring deeply is this concept around relational health. It's the understanding that the quality of our relationships, it's just as vital to our well-being as, say, nutrition or exercise or sleep. Relational health is about how we give and receive care and how we communicate. We know obviously communication is key, and how we create trust and safety with others. It's the foundation for our resilience, and we feel like we belong, and it offers a lot of meaning in our lives. So no matter how independent or self-sufficient we become, we are wired for connection, and we thrive when our relationships do. This episode is inspired by 3 transformative experiences that all happened to me in 1 week. And each experience left me exhilarated, hopeful, and profoundly connected. So combined, I literally was floating. Everything I cared about came together, like I said, and it proved what I always believed. Friendship is the most powerful form of wellness. From Reese Witherspoon's star-studded Shine Away event in Los Angeles to hosting my first ever friendship table dinner circle at my home where I cooked and baked for 18 of my dear friends, and then leading a Lavender Craft Workshop in a mindfulness circle at a women's shelter on Skid Row, I witnessed again and again the healing that happens when women come together. You'll hear insights from thought leaders who spoke on the Shine Away panels I was so privileged to witness, like Monica Lewinsky and Dr. Sarah Kubrick, also known as the millennial therapist, Candace Kume, Malin Ackerman, Joanne Lee Molinaro, Brittany Snow, Jenny Garth, Jen Hatmaker, and Tembi Locke, to name a few, alongside stories about friendship as medicine for loneliness, mindfulness as daily nourishment, and joy as the ultimate connector. The truth is, wellness isn't only self-care, it's connection. And a real connection requires effort. It means we have to show up, even when it's not convenient. It means potentially driving across town during traffic, or staying a little later than we wanted to, or making time for a friend after a long day. But because of that effort it takes and the willingness to be a villager in someone else's village, that's what transforms isolation into belonging. And that's what I saw during that incredible week and continue to see. My friends prioritizing friendship, showing up on a Wednesday night after a long work day. They came tired, but they left nourished because connection takes energy, but it also gives it back tenfold. You'll also hear reflections about what we can teach our daughters and ourselves about kindness, inclusion, and lifting each other up. That mean girl energy, it might start in middle school, but so does the courage to be kind, which I witnessed as a true mark of popularity, and kindness is a superpower. There were so many takeaways from this incredible week I had, but I'll name just a few. 1, friendship isn't just nice, it's essential to mental, physical, and emotional health. 2, talk to yourself differently and become your own best friend in your own passion project. 3, learn from other women around you and from the ones who came before. Our daughters deserve it, and our mothers and grandmothers may not have had the chance. 4, connection is the cure for loneliness. 5, joy, laughter, creativity. They're all forms of self-care and healing. And let's be honest, fun, right? And then the last one, number 6, when women support women, we rise higher, we shine brighter. So pour yourself a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. And after you listen to this episode, check out the photos I took from the Hello Sunshine Shine Away event on the Stay Forever Gold blog or on my social channels. You can find all the links in the show notes. Friendship is the new wellness when women shine together. Last week, I had one of those really rare, extraordinary moments when my key interests, education, mental health and wellness, mindfulness, and friendship all merged. My cup was overflowing and I literally felt high on life. I was exhilarated and hopeful and both literally and figuratively connected. 3 big events in 1 week where women came together, all sharing the same powerful message. Friendship isn't just something nice to have, it's actually essential to our health and happiness. From Reese Witherspoon's Shine Away, star-studded weekend conference in Los Angeles held at the Universal Studios sound stages, to my first ever friendship table, which was a sit-down dinner party and a guided circle meditation at my home with 18 of my friends, to a Lavender Craft Workshop at a women's shelter on Skid Row, I was reminded that friends, new and old, they inspire us to be better, work smarter, grow and learn and reach our potential. And when we stumble, they offer a hand. And when we fail, they remind us to get back up again. And when we have something to celebrate, well, that's the best because sharing our happiness with them is the surest way to multiply it. And also, we have to be that friend to have friends. The first event, Shine Away. The week began on Saturday at the Shine Away event held on the Universal Studios lot in Los Angeles. It's a 2-day event of creativity, and this was their 3rd annual, and it's filled with storytelling and female empowerment panels, and it's hosted by Reese Witherspoon and her company, Hello Sunshine. Over 2,000 women from all over the world and all ages showed up, looking radiant, feeling confident, beautifully dressed, complimenting one another, and lifting each other up. It was like literally walking into a sea of girly girls in the best sense of the word. Strong, encouraging, kind, and full of jubilation. Reese opened the event with a rallying cry to, quote, become your own lifesaver, end quote. She spoke about filling our tanks with good advice, investing in ourselves, and learning from one another. Our daughters deserve better stories, she said, explaining why she created Hello Sunshine, to amplify women's voices and show richer, more empowering representations of women in media. How much do we love her, honestly? And I found myself nodding and scribbling notes like a college student in awe. Have the audacity to dream, I wrote. Talk to yourself differently. Be your own best friend, I scribbled. Be open to possibilities. Learn from other women. Our mothers and grandmothers weren't able to. That last one that I wrote down, it really hit me hard because when I began writing, I thought I was finishing my grandfather's unfinished manuscript, but really, in truth, I was saving myself. I was rewriting my own story, and I was cutting generational trauma and family secrets and healing old wounds. I wanted to be able to hand my beloved daughters a brighter baton, a better story, a happier ending, one gilded with honesty, courage, and possibility, and one that I would feel proud sharing because it was my truth. And that's what I love about Reese is she honors authors, and there were so many kindred spirits there. The weekend was packed with dynamic panels. They literally fed my heart and my soul and my mind, and the representation of these varied and creative and brilliant and strong women really mattered, not just to me, but to the younger generation most. And I soaked up Candace Kumai's matcha and meditation session and was instantly re-inspired by my recent travel to Japan, where I absolutely fell in love with their history and their culture and the way they slow down and honestly how calm they are, to be honest. She renewed my belief in the power of mindfulness and meditation, something I am discovering more and more how it can literally shift energy, because the moments of peace and grounding that it fosters can be so life-changing. And then there was the Korean vegan, Joanne Lee Molinaro, and she reflected on how it's 100% possible to reinvent yourself and become resilient, but only if you believe in yourself and never give up. She was an attorney that followed her passion to cook and bake, and now she has all these incredible recipe books, and she's just doing what she loves. At the She Sees Me Friendship panel, Malin Ackerman shared how after her divorce, she raised her baby with her very best friend, her self-described sister wife. And it was a real reminder that asking for help is not a weakness, it's wisdom, and it often leads to a deeper relationship. That is something she will share for the rest of her life with her sister wife. And she said it was really hard, but it also was really beautiful. And then at the Dear Future Me workshop, Brittany Snow and Jasper Guest, who are best friends, they spoke about their September Letters project. It's a book that they're writing and also a project. And they talked about finding strength and connection and healing come when you storytell. And when Jasper said that Britt was her vault, it stopped me in my tracks, because what a perfect definition of a friendship. Someone who holds your truth in confidence and in love. And then there was Dr. Sarah Kubrick. She's also known as the millennial therapist, and she was in conversation with Monica Lewinsky, and they were talking about reclaiming your narrative. And the audience was really reminded, as I was deeply reminded, that trauma does not define you. It informs you. Financial independence and wherewithal were important topics that many women were never taught. We were reminded that financial health is freedom of choice. Kathleen Griffith, who wrote Build Like a Woman, and Allison Kozik and Cameron Hamilton and Joanne Lee Molinaro were on the Pivot That Paid Off panel. They encouraged us to develop business growth mindsets. Again, I took more furious notes when I wrote, make one bold ask a week, or give your dream the longest financial runway, or invest in other women's businesses, especially small and local ones. And then also know your numbers, your monthly numbers, your yearly numbers, your dream level numbers. Know your passwords. Be on top of your money to manage it. A highlight for me was seeing Tebby Locke, whom I'd had the pleasure of interviewing in the past for my Dear Family podcast. She wrote the memoir From Scratch that turned into an incredible Netflix series, and you definitely need to watch it. Tembi was discussing her new audiobook, Someday Now, and she shared a quote that continues to really echo in my heart. And that was that, quote, "A new chapter means starting over, but also holding on," end of quote. Then there was Jenny Garth, and she, of course, is a familiar face from watching 90210, but also from when our daughters were in elementary school together, and she was always so nice. And there she was up on stage, a mom of 3 beautiful daughters who'd gone through some real uphill battles with a divorce and in the public and potentially other things that I don't know about, but she never gave up. And there she was now thriving and glowing in her life and in her business. And everywhere I turned were women that were rising and they were connecting and they were saying yes to themselves and to one another. It was such a beautiful sight. Honestly, speaking of energy, it was so high. I happened to be reading Jen Hatmaker's memoir, Awake, when I saw her up close and personal. She was shattered by the implosion of her 26-year marriage, and she faced the daunting task of rebuilding her life and raising 5 children. But it was her incredible friends who stepped up, who came to her rescue and reminded her of the goddess that she was, so that she could come back stronger. And honestly, I would say even funnier than ever. She truly is great. And by the way, loved her memoir. Definitely check that one out. And then in a serendipitous twist, I ran into the women who run NAMI West LA. And that was the first NAMI branch that I began my work as a mental health educator. And there they were face to face with me, like-minded colleagues, and it really felt like the universe was winking at me, reminding me that when women support one another, it's so empowering, and you can form friendships this way, and they're the foundations that are so essential to our mental and our physical and our relational health. And so by Sunday afternoon, as the Shine Away event came to a close, my heart was bursting. I'd hugged old friends and made new ones, like Jane from Copenhagen. I took my new friend Rachel from Dallas and my new friend Christy from Minneapolis to the infamous Valley Mexican restaurant Casa Vega. They loved driving down Ventura Boulevard and seeing the palm trees and passing Laurel Canyon. We sat at the bar and we toasted to new friendships over spicy margaritas, and it was great. New friends. And I will definitely be seeing them again for sure. And not much time has gone by already, and we've already been texting it. Reese left me with advice that I would take in and pass on. Quote, have a joyful heart, she said, and quote, feel the fear and do it anyway. End of quote. Seeing other women do impossible things made me determined to bring that same joy, fierceness, and sisterhood home. All right, now on to the second event, the friendship table. 3 days later, on a Wednesday night, I hosted my first ever friendship table, an evening at my home with 18 of my dearest women friends. The proceeds would go to Girls Inc., supporting the next generation of female leaders and future friends, and I would have an opportunity to practice what I preach. So inspired by Shine Away, I poured love into every detail, arranging fresh flower arrangements for the tables and preparing homemade, healthy, and delicious soups and salads. I baked cookies and challah rolls so we could literally break bread together. And I confess that the chocolate chip and peppermint cookies were definitely not my best. I got a little bit distracted with the baking soda amount and added too much. But the lesson for me next time is store-bought mixed with homemade is perfectly fine. On the other hand, I made these cluster cookies with the leftover egg whites that were left over from making challah, and I mixed in pumpkin spiced pepitas and dried cranberries and cashews and coconut flakes with a little bit of brown sugar and a pinch of salt, and they were a true hit and really delicious. My home was filled with laughter, and we ate and we drank wine and tea and we chatted and we caught up. The volume got very high in my home with that many women. And then we all moved our chairs into a circle, and I led a short mindfulness meditation session before I led a guided discussion on friendship. I was so pleased how my women friends generously opened their hearts and shared. They changed the energy in the room. They uplifted it tenfold from when they first came through my front door. And what was supposed to last just 2 hours stretched far longer. We literally probably could have stayed all night. The next morning, I did have a lot to clean up, but it was so worth it when I was able to make a donation to Girls Inc. And I received so many lovely messages about the warmth and the openness of the group of women. And I was asked to keep them on the list for the next one. The friendship table was an experiment, and it confirmed a proof of concept that I always knew, that when we create space for connection and nourishment and mindfulness, that's what we are longing for, and that's what we need. And there doesn't have to be only one strong woman in the room. Rather, we can have a home or an entire soundstage full of them. And honestly, the more the merrier. By showing my friends the love and appreciation that I felt for them, I was caring for them. You can take all the baths and do all the journaling you want, but by caring for others and saying yes to connection, that's what makes you truly well and fulfilled. When women gather in person with real food and real laughter and real vulnerability, we heal, we grow, we stay well. And now to the last event of the week, the Lavender Craft Workshop. 2 days later, on Friday, my high school friend Lauren Rajani and I drove to the Downtown Women's Center in Los Angeles on Skid Row. The shelter's mission is to provide safe housing and supportive services centered on wellness and employment and advocacy. So we were there to lead a sachet making workshop, and we were going to use the lavender Lauren planted and harvested with her own hands at her ranch up in Ojai. The women, many who were healing from trauma and homelessness, would soon be holding those fragrant dried bundles in their hands. The staff joined the residents, and the air in the halls literally smelled like perfume, and it was beckoning everyone to come and get a well-deserved moment of serenity and have a well-deserved moment of connection. We began with a simple meditation with our eyes closed, and we inhaled the aromatic scent that filled the room. And I asked the women to imagine themselves in a lavender field in full bloom as their breath slowed. When they opened their eyes, a lightness was felt as the energy shifted to a peaceful calmness, allowing easy conversation, big smiles, and laughter. And it literally filled the room. Together, we filled sachets with dried lavender flowers. We sipped tea, we nibbled on cookies, and we shared stories. And I was reminded of how Reese said that her crafternoons with her group of friends were more than just fun. It was therapeutic. I mean, right? Friendship is therapy. It's the best medicine. We also know that when our hands are busy, whether crafting or cooking or creating, it's another form of wellness in disguise. And when women come together with intention, whether at a Hollywood studio lot or around a dining table or in a community room, the result is the same. It's healing. Here's what I learned. Number 1, be your own best friend first. You have to fill your tank first before you can give to others. It's obvious, but it's a good reminder, and you need to know your worth. Trust your gut when it comes to yourself and become your own passion project, right? Speak to yourself kindly, the way you would speak to your best friend. Be your own best friend first. Number 2, another woman's success is my triumph. Linking arms with other women is the goal. When women support one another, we are unstoppable. We shine brighter, we rise higher, and we rewrite the stories our daughters and sons will grow up believing. Number 3, in a time when loneliness is being called an epidemic, connection is the cure. Friendship isn't frivolous, it's medicine, and it's therapy rolled into one. In this day and age, when we can't always find common ground, friendship is something we can all agree on. It boosts our mood, it strengthens our immunity, and it literally lengthens our lives. Number 4, joy is the connective tissue of friendship. Cheers to all of you women who link arms, break bread, plant lavender, and remind one another that the most powerful wellness practice of all is friendship. And let's be honest, cheers to the guys who are out there supporting us. We love you too. Thank you for listening. If you love this podcast, please leave a review. It really helps Dear Family reach more people. And if you'd like to attend or host a friendship table, please message me. And lastly, if you want to give the perfect friendship gift to a friend, to your sister, to your mom, as a hostess gift for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, you name it, or maybe just because Grab a copy of Stay Golden Girls, Friendship is the New Marriage on Amazon. All the links are in my bio. Take care, everybody, and please make plans with your friends. This is Rachel Steinman. For more information or to contact me with any questions, comments, or guest ideas, please check out rightnowrachel.com. That's right with a W. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing, and sharing, dear family. And if you found value in what you've just heard, I would love and so appreciate a great review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Until next time, I wish you love, happiness, and good mental health.